anticipating in terms of Technion faculty, support staff, students coming to Roosevelt Island?
The participation of Technion is basically in helping design, helping in thinking. You shouldn't expect too many people to go from a Technion over here, except for one community, which is PhD students. So we have 3 faculty members from the Technion who are visiting. They're all short-term temporary positions. I think this is basically the number you see in the future. It's not enrollment. These are people who are going on sabbatical anyway, and they think that this would be a very good place for them to do a sabbatical. There are 250 additional universities in the United States where we can do that, but there are reasons to be in New York. There are reasons to share this vision, so they come over here. But it's a small number. We have faculty members that have academic affiliation with Technion and are permanent faculty members at the Jacobs Institute. So the Jacobs Institute could be either a permanent faculty member of Technion or Cornell. But these are people that I hired here. Most of them grew up in the United States. They're hired here to work here. So the academic affiliation basically means that when you do an evaluation to promote them or give them tenure, there is technical participation. So that's basically. We expect a fair number of people to go from here and visit Technion and come to Technion to visit here. This would be the most noticeable difference from any other university in the United States. And we expect people from here to come to Technion and find a paid PhD student and bring him over here or her to get an education in this place if they want to get education of the kind that we offer. But if you ask me to get numbers, the number didn't, but I'm trying to guess. So I would expect maybe 3 visitors, long-term visitors for a year or something like that. Jacobs Institute will be around 30 faculty members. I would guess half of them will be Technion academic affiliation. So people who are hired here to work here, but the academic affiliation with Technion. I would expect 10 graduate students from Technion to be here, roughly.
Will they be receiving joint degrees, both Technion and Cornell?
Right, so I failed to mention this. The master's degree that I described is the degree that you get in the hubs are different in most degrees in 2 ways. First of all, there are 2 years. There are 2 years because, as you can see, to get everything you need to know about healthier life, that takes a long time. In addition, you have to have all the background in technology and get the entrepreneurship education and so on. So it's a 2-year program, and they actually get 2 degrees, one from the Technion and one from Cornell. The PhD programs are Cornell PhD programs, supervised by whoever is in Cornell Tech or but these are Cornell Tech degrees. We don't have undergraduate degrees
Anyone else? Bart? I'm just curious, what kind of responses have you been getting from other universities about this method of teaching, or have you gotten much response?
Well, a lot of very interesting responses, including those that really hate us because we won the competition. We get a lot of inquiries from universities along the lines of either can we do something together, or can you explain how you did this thing or the other, which they find really inspiring. And in fact, this is exactly what we were hoping for. So the mission of this campus, and in particular Jacobs, is an outward mission. It's not the ivory tower where we close the doors. We want to open everything. What we hope would happen is you will invent something, and the university would say, that looks very interesting, can we copy it? And they say, sure, here's a blueprint, go ahead and do it. By the time they implement that, we'll do something different. That's where we want to be. So I get a lot of emails from universities, for example, on the issue of our, what we call runway postdocs. So I'll make this 30-second explanation because it's not the main issue, but one of the thorniest issues at universities in regards to high-tech, the issue of intellectual property. Universities treat intellectual property in development of medicine, which is a 15-year project, in the same way as developing computer application, which is a 3-month project. And you can understand that it just doesn't work. And we came up with a program to bring in people with a PhD in technology to develop something that they can get out in a year. And we wrote an IP agreement for them, which everybody in industry thinks is exactly the right thing. But universities were unable to adopt anything like that for the last 5 years. So I get a lot of inquiries, how do you get this done? What exactly does that do? And again, our hope is that everybody will copy it because it's wonderful, and we'll think of something else.
Yes.
Will there be any type of military or national security research being done by either Cornell or Technion? And do you anticipate any special security protections needed for Roosevelt Island?
Well, if Technion wanted to do any national security research, it would certainly not do it here. Technion doesn't do research on security or national security or defense directly. There are a lot of experts in Israel in security, and when the government wants them to do research, they go to a place where I'm not allowed to know where it is and do their specific development on that area. Technion is a university like the one you find in the United States. You cannot find a door at the university which is barred with a sign, secret, do not enter, because it's a university, it's an open place, so you can't really have defense research of the strict kind. It is true in the United States as well as Israel that the defense industry supports research, but that research is fundamental research that they find interesting. In cryptography, in secrecy, in privacy, in control theory, which they may apply to whatever they want. As you know, technology has the unfortunate situation that you can use it for good things, but also for bad. But the type of research is done at the Technion and Cornell, and that will be done over here, is open research that people can see and look at, and it's not going to be something secretive. And if it has applications to security, it's going to be indirect, at the same kind that you find in any other place.
What about just in terms of security on the campus itself? Anything special that's going to need to be done?
We don't have any, well, actually right now we have very good security because we're inside Google. They're very secure. But the campus is an open campus completely.
Yeah, let me take that. So the campus is an open campus, as you know. That's one of the fundamental issues is we want to draw people onto the campus, whether it's from the academic world, the community, the corporate world. The buildings will have entry control at them, so there are public parts of the buildings like the cafe in the first academic building or retail space or other things like that, which will be public and you won't need to go through security. But for entering the buildings, it would be just like any other academic buildings in New York where you would need an ID in order to get in. We're working with a security consultant on overall security issues for the campus, but we actually haven't started that yet, so we'll report back when we do.
Let me just add that if you ask yourself what is the percentage of Israelis in this campus, if you want to compare this to Google New York, Yahoo New York, Microsoft New York, anywhere you go, I was really surprised to see that there are Israelis everywhere. And that doesn't cause any particular security issue to any of them. The largest concentration, by the way, is Silicon Valley, where I happened to go to a cafe and turned out that every second person in that place speaks Hebrew. Most of Israelis. They don't employ any particular security measure because they're Israelis. Google is very strict about its security because they worry about their commercial secrets.
Thank you.
Just to follow up on what Rick said, there was a period about a year ago when people were bringing up questions about all axes to grind, and I thought that Cornell had put those questions to rest at that time. It's conceivable that in the summer of 2017, when phase 1 opens, that questions might be raised again, and it's good to understand that there is that potential. So I don't know if we're prepared with that, but that was a situation.
Yes, to be prepared with the same answers.
Exactly.
Good point.
Okay, thank you very much, Adam. Any other questions at this point? Yes.
Okay.